You ever trust someone so much you'd let them read your thesis paper? Yeah, I did too. Big mistake. Because my best friend didn't just read it, he copied it, word for word, submitted it, and won a $50,000 scholarship. He stood under the spotlight, smiling, while I sat there with a stomach full of betrayal and a heart that felt like it had been cracked open. But don't worry. I got the last word. In front of 500 people. This is the story of how betrayal broke my trust, but gave me a voice I never knew I had. Ryan and I weren't just best friends. We were practically stitched together by the same thread. We met in 7th grade when we were both caught hacking the school's Wi-Fi to prank our substitute teacher with a looping fart sound on her presentation slides. We ended up in detention together, sharing a bag of chips. And from that moment, we became inseparable. We survived the cringe years of puberty, endured impossible group projects, and faced our first heartbreaks with cheap soda and loud playlists. We had different strengths. Ryan could talk his way through anything, charm adults, command attention. I was quieter, better with code and data than with people. But that balance worked. Yin and yang. Our parents joked we were each other's first marriage. His mom kept Pop-Tarts in her pantry because she knew I liked them. My dad learned to cook vegetarian just for Ryan. It wasn't just friendship. It was brotherhood. By the time high school rolled around, our lives were intertwined. We took the same AP classes, competed in every robotics competition we could find, and even co-founded a tutoring app that briefly caught fire in our school district. It bombed later, but at the time it felt like the beginning of something huge. I still remember the science fair sophomore year. Ryan forgot to build his project and asked to borrow mine. I let him. He won 3rd place. I didn't place at all. He gave me half the prize money and said, "We won this together." I brushed it off as no big deal. Maybe I should have seen the pattern back then. College was the next chapter of our saga. We got into the same elite tech school. We even requested to be roommates freshman year. Late-night coding sprints, pizza box pyramids, shared playlists for productivity. We crushed group projects, hosted a podcast for 1 semester, and came in 2nd at a regional hackathon. Everyone on campus knew us as the 2 R's. Ryan and Rafi. Best friends, co-builders, brothers. But something shifted junior year. The stakes got higher. The industry internships, the competitions, the whispers of the Harland Fellowship. That award was a game changer. A $50,000 merit-based scholarship for the best thesis in our department. And a launchpad into the real tech world. Harvard, Google, VC firms. They all watched Harland recipients. I started my thesis in the summer. I built a model to predict traffic fatalities based on city infrastructure, crime rates, and weather anomalies. It wasn't glamorous, but it was meaningful. My advisor called it a disruptive application of data science with civic impact. I spent sleepless nights training neural networks, parsing municipal records, fighting bugs, and rewriting chapters. Ryan floundered. He couldn't decide between smart vending machines, emotional support apps, or something about NFTs for local artists. His ideas were flashy, but nothing stuck. Still, I helped him brainstorm. Gave him templates, pointed him to datasets. I shared everything. Everything except my actual thesis. Until the night I left my laptop open. It was finals week. We were in our usual spot in the 24-hour study lounge. Red Bull cans stacked like trophies, ambient lo-fi playing in the background. I was exporting the final draft of my thesis, cleaning up citations, and updating my appendix. Ryan came over with 2 coffees. My usual was just the way I liked it. "You're almost done?" he asked. "Yeah, just wrapping up citations." "Dude, you're a machine," he said with a smile. "You're gonna win this thing." I smiled back. I was proud of what I'd done. I thought he was proud too. Then my phone buzzed. A text from our advisor. I turned to answer it. My laptop was open. My draft was in full view, 10 minutes. That's all I was gone. 2 weeks later, the list of Harlan Fellowship finalists went live. Ryan's name was there. Mine wasn't. I laughed at first. Must be a mistake, I thought. I had confirmation of submission. I checked the portal. My file was gone. I went cold. I logged into the school's thesis archive, public access for transparency. Ryan's paper was there. I clicked it, and I froze. It was mine. He changed the name, the title, moved some sections around, but it was unmistakable. The data, the tone, the model architecture, even a spelling error I forgot to correct. All of it, mine. My chest tightened, my stomach dropped. I felt the room tilt. This wasn't inspiration, this wasn't building on a friend's ideas. This was theft. I didn't sleep that night. I reviewed every draft I had saved, every GitHub commit, every note, text, timestamp, and revision. I even found a screen recording of myself debugging my training script. I packaged everything. The next morning, I met Ryan for lunch. He greeted me like nothing happened. "Yo, got the spicy burrito you like?" I didn't eat. "You stole my thesis," I said point blank. He blinked, set his burrito down. "Dude, chill." "I saw it. It's mine. You copied it and submitted it." He shrugged. "You didn't hit submit. You said you were going to, but the deadline passed. I panicked. I didn't want us both to lose out. Look, I cleaned it up. I made it presentable. I'm going to mention you in interviews. We'll share the win." I stared at him, stunned. "Mention me?" He leaned in. "Think about it. You hate the spotlight. I thrive in it. This way, we both benefit." I left without another word. He didn't chase me. The days that followed were a blur of anger, disbelief, and planning. I knew I had to act, not just to protect my work, but to expose what he did. I compiled a watertight case. I included my original drafts with metadata timestamps, GitHub commits showing development progress, a video screen recording of my code being built, voice memos I'd sent Ryan describing the project months before submission. I turned it all into a concise 10-minute video with a voiceover. I didn't add music, no dramatic effects, just facts. The Harlan Fellowship Award ceremony was the biggest academic event of the year. Over 500 people. Faculty. Students. Corporate partners. Donors. Media. Ryan arrived early. He wore a tailored navy suit, gold tie, and that grin he reserved for crowds. His parents were in the front row. His little sister even flew in. The MC called his name. The applause was thunderous. He stepped up to the podium, basking in it. When I began this project, I didn't know the impact it would have on me and, hopefully, on the world. I stood up. "Excuse me." Every head turned. I walked to the aisle, my voice clear. "I'm sorry to interrupt, but the project Ryan is being honored for. He didn't write it. I did. And I can prove it." Gasps, murmurs, confusion. I handed a USB drive to the AV team. "Please play the file titled Original Author Proof." The screen came to life. There I was, narrating, calmly and confidently, drafts open side by side, dates highlighted. Version log scrolling. My screen recording. My model building. My code. My voice. 10 minutes. Dead silence. When the lights came back on, Ryan hadn't moved. He stared at the screen, his mouth slightly open, his knuckles white against the podium edge. The panel chair stood. "This is a serious matter. The awards committee will review this immediately. Today's recognition is suspended pending investigation." The MC called an early intermission. Ryan walked off stage. No applause, no photos, no handshake. His family left through the side exit. I never saw his sister again. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because I was scared, but because I had finally, truly exhaled. 3 days later, the university sent an official notice. Ryan had been stripped of the fellowship. A disciplinary panel suspended him for academic dishonesty. His name was removed from the website. His advisor recused herself. Word spread fast. Some people defended him. Said he made a mistake, got desperate, lost his way. Others said nothing. But no one called him a genius anymore. He never issued a public apology. Never reached out. Just disappeared from the program. A ghost in group chats. A blank square on Zoom. A memory people tried not to mention. A week later, I got an email. You are now the official recipient of the Harland Fellowship. Congratulations. Thank you for your integrity. There was no ceremony, no applause, no speech, just a digital badge, a wire transfer, and silence, and yet I'd never felt prouder of anything in my life. For a while, I replayed everything. Wondered if I could have done something differently. If calling him out publicly was too much. If I humiliated him. But every time that doubt crept in, I remembered what he said. We'll both benefit. That wasn't partnership. That was possession. Success used to mean prestige, an audience, a trophy on a shelf. Now it means something else entirely. It means waking up and not feeling like I sold out. It means walking across campus and holding my head up, not because people know what I did, but because I know who I am. It means peace. And it means knowing that even when someone steals your words, your ideas, your future, they can never steal your voice. People still ask about Ryan sometimes. Weren't you guys close? Do you think he regrets it? Would you forgive him? My answers? We were closer than most brothers. Yes, I think he regrets it. And maybe I would forgive him, if he ever found the courage to admit what he did. But I'm not holding my breath. Because when someone you trust betrays you, the real recovery isn't about punishing them. It's about reclaiming yourself. It's about learning that being right isn't always loud, and sometimes the quiet victory is the one that lasts forever.